Hey everybody, so this cycle of Zodiacs, I'm going to be using the raw runes from Wrestling Around. They're up on his blog post. It's going to be in the description box for all of these. Patrick will remember to put them in there. And I'm using, oh wow, Witchcraft Sorcery Elder, number 66. I'm going to be using the ones that I drew, question mark, painted, drew. And you can also find a version where he hand drew them, and you can just print them so you don't have to draw them. But they're available there. I'm going to be using 2 or 3, and let's get into this. Just wanted to record this bit so I could just like edit videos together and not have to say it every time, because I might forget. But if you're interested, the link is going to be in the description box, and you can go and print them out yourself. I believe if you print them and use them, the rune raking team, rune rakers, are asking to be tagged in it so that they can view it and so that Russell can go in and transcribe anything that comes up, because he is still building it out. This is not the final version. Everything is still kind of sort of fluid, or a lot of things are still fluid. We're just seeing how they play out. I personally love them so far as is, but anyway, I'm going to get into this. Or now I will. You're going to see this like 12 times, and I'm going to keep it every single time. I'm not even going to trim this.
Hey, so let's see who we're doing today. Let me pull up my cheat sheet. Hey Siri, choose a random number between 1 and 12.
A random number between 1 and 12 is 9.
Is 9. Sagittarius. I'll do Sagittarius again, since there wasn't any sound last time I tried to do this. And it looks like there's sound today. Okay, Sagittarius, so I didn't think I was going to come back, but I will. Ooh, resistance. Original birthright and resistance. Unwild and Ethel. Or Ethel. Ethel. Like Ethel. Ethyl ethers. Dimethyl ether. Oh, that's methyl, not ethyl. What's an ethyl group? Why is Sagittarius always so scientific and like chemical? Okay, so for Sagittarius, what is Hey Siri, what is dimethyl ether?
Dimethyl ether is the organic compound with the formula CH3OC3, simplified to C2H6O. Do you want me to keep reading?
Yes.
The simplest ether. It is a colorless gas that is a useful precursor to other organic compounds and an aerosol propellant that is currently being demonstrated for use in a variety of fuel applications. It is an isomer of ethanol.
I feel like dimethyl ether is a thing. It's an isomer of ethanol, which means that it has all of the same, like that, what was it, dimethyl ether, so C2H6O. Because ethanol would be what, C3 and then C2OH. So it has the same formula. Yeah, C3C2OH. I didn't forget all my chemistry. So this is ethanol. And an isomer means that it has all of the same components, but it's arranged differently. And it's the different arrangement that gives it its different ability. Dimethyl ether. Oh, yeah. So here's dimethyl ether. And you can see in dimethyl ether, it has the O in the middle. The oxygen is in the middle. When it's an alcohol, So if the H was on the alcohol, it would give it the ability to sort of, especially if it's on the end of the molecule, it's like it'll be pulled off and it'll create a water molecule. And then a hydrogen would attach where that was. And so it makes it, instead of ethanol, because it's an alcohol, OL, it would be, is that ethane? Is that ethane? Yeah, it would be ethane. Because it would put an H where that OH was. Sagittarius, why are we talking about chemistry? Ethane is structurally the simplest hydrocarbon. Just like dimethyl ether was the simplest ether. And ethane would be like the simplest ether. Ethane would be like the simplest. Well, it wouldn't be the simplest alcohol because methanol would be the simplest alcohol. I just want the pictures. So there is something that's very. See, here we go. In one picture. Thank you. Thank you. Oh no! Let's see if I can. So again, like with an isomer, the components are the same, but it's structurally different. And in chemistry, everything is structural because it's all about availability and sort of like ease of access. There you go. So you can see that they both have 2 C's, 6 H's, and an O. Okay, Sagittarius. Oh gosh, I had to go to school for this. And Sagittarius is in my 9th house. So, no. My 8th house is Sagittarius. My 9th and 10th house are both Capricorn. But my North Node is in Sagittarius, so I guess that part of learning was for me. So we have Eohac. Or Eohac? I forget how Russell was. He was like putting up a bunch of things, and I'm just like, this is not helping me understand. This is not helping me know how to pronounce this. Eohac. The U and the oak, sacral and support. Bottom of the rune deck is wind, bliss and comfort. I feel like these balloons are like, hold up, wait, let me try to show you these balloons. You see how close that thing is to my ear? Oh, you can't. But it's like right here. And so I hear it like, so like, oof, let me zoom in a little bit more. I gotta zoom in enough to like, take that off. It's fine. I just like feel when the balloon gets closer to my ear, I feel it. Almost like echolocation. It's like since when the balloon isn't right next to my ear, I can hear a lot more, but when the balloon comes in, it's like that's the depth of my hearing. So even though I'm not a bat, I can still experience echolocation. Oh gosh. Eohac. Or Ewok. Ewok? I don't watch Star Wars, so all I know about Ewoks is that they exist. But because this balloon is here, it feels like someone's like looking over my shoulder. So we have isomeric energy. We have ethyls, alcohols, chemistry. And what are ethyls good for? If it had a hydrogen on it, it would be a ketone, I believe. And I think ketones and something are the same. I don't remember what the other one is. But it's like if it's on the end, well, if it's on the end, it's an alcohol. But if it's in the middle, oh no, a ketone is a double bonded O. Never mind. It would just be like an alcohol group. A hydroxyl group. That's what it would be. Sagittarius. Where are we going? It's an OH, yeah. So when it's at the end, it's an alcohol. When it's in the middle, it's probably still has alcoholic properties. I don't know. I don't remember. That chemistry was a long time ago. What's the most like? I need a sciencey tarot deck. I'm gonna get one. Just for you, Sagittarius. Just for you. So you, Eohac. Sacral support with bliss and comfort. So the sacral support, it feels like this is this way. Not like this. Like these two parallel lines. Or it would be like that. I mean, with the U, it's internal. And with oak support, it's external. So there's this energy where it's like you taking care of you puts you in a position to be able to take care of others. And this balloon is just getting like closer and closer to me. I'm going to pause this and take Chino out. I'm going to let this marinate, and then I'll come right back. Alright, Sagittarius, I'm back. And I got the clarity I needed, I guess? Kinda. So, it's an energy where these two are the same. This is the ether. This is dimethyl ether. This is ethanol. And there's a certain symmetry around, so the oxygen is the atom of interest here, right? So it's like when the oxygen is at the end, it's either here or here. This could be the hydrogen, this is the oxygen, and then this is the rest of the, right? COH. Maybe. Like this is the backbone. And then here is the oxygen. And when the oxygen is at the end, it gives the color green only to this end. But when the oxygen is in the middle, it colors everything green, or shades of green. And again, it's that energy of isomers, where it's like they're the same but different because of the structure. And so it's a structural alchemy rather than an additional or subtractional alchemy. How structure itself gives rise to form. And it feels very emperor. But it also feels like it feels empress in its interaction. And I want to use the SKT for this. And there's something about symmetry with dimethyl ether that doesn't exist in ethanol. I feel like, I usually put these two together, don't I? I didn't even do that. You get a gel pen, Sagittarius. I've been doing it with Sharpie's good. Hopefully I get a gel pen that works. Not this one. Oh my gosh. And I just set this here. Oh, these balloons. I need to just throw one. I'm feeling this one right here. This blue one. So this and then you have this. Two OH. And then I guess in between you have this. And at first I was going to say you can't even see the U in the oak. Because it's like there. But it feels like this is the U. And the oak sits on, it's like the oak grows out of the U. The oak grows out of you. Maybe that's what I'll title this. That is what I'm going to title this. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it. I don't know if you've ever seen this, Sagittarius, but I have like 108 gel pens. Which is what I started doing the runes with before I moved over to these. Well, I can't pull them up. I have paintbrush markers. And so it ended up working out that more or less the Elder Futhark is in gel pen and the rest are in paintbrush markers. Ooh. Let's see if you can see that. Can you see the shine? Can you see the shine? Let's see. I don't think you can. Hold up. I'm trying to... No, you can... Oh, wait. There you go. Now you can see it. It's a sparkly gel pen. Okay. All right, bear with me, Sagittarius. It's going to be one of those. It may be a little longer, but Eohac, the oak grows from you. Isomeric magic? But it feels more like maybe this is a blending of like alchemy and magic. Maybe the magic is the feminine aspect of this and the alchemy is the masculine aspect of this. And look, you're at the bottom of the deck. Confirming that, yes, Sagittarius, this was the right choice for you. For me to use for you. And then there's the title cards. Alright. The Seeker. Which is the second Fool. The Seeker is perfect for Sagittarian energy. So there is almost an energy of like the things outside of you. It feels like this is relative, right? So either this is your you, this little one is your you, or this is your you, the big one. And it feels like the journey is growing to the point where this line, where like this line is this line, instead of this line being this line. And so maybe it starts as, maybe, ooh, what? Come on, little dollar store pen. How are you just gonna do that to me? Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm not supposed to write with it. Okay. When I write with it, that's for something else. And I already put the pins back. But I should have another one because I just did my homework. Here it is. So it feels like it might start as this. And then we go up here and then go up here and then go up here and then, oops. It becomes that. Like it feels like this may be the journey. Almost like raising a flag. This is like when you've made it. And it almost carries a Aquarius energy. All it's missing then is plus this. Then it becomes this. It might not be, I think that's fire now, or Feyor. But it feels like this gets added to you. Once this reaches this, then it just kind of sort of like pops up, right? And that's the thing about functional groups. Their location determines the kind of interactions they're able to have, right? It's like there are some things with the oxygen, if it's a magic sort of related to oxygen, then there are some things that it's like it's easier to access here since it's off to the side. Like anybody can kind of sort of come and sort of snatch that, right? And then if they did, this would become H3C CH3. And it's like it achieves the same symmetry, but it lost the oxygen. It's like it lost the thing that made it, that gave it its ability to interact. Because the oxygen, like carbon, it's not the most sort of reactive. And a carbon, like bonded to 4 things, it's stable, it's happy, it's not really going to do anything. And so here, like this carbon is bonded to 3 hydrogens and the oxygen. This carbon is bonded to this carbon, 2 hydrogens and this oxygen. But when you take this oxygen away, now this carbon is available to interact with something. Now this, it feels like this is more difficult to interact with because it's not like the O is in between these very sort of stable things. And I think the difference between this and water is electronegativity. So even though this overall it has no charge, it's partially charged because the oxygen is a lot more electronegative than the hydrogen is. We're going full chemistry as far as what I can remember, chemistry. Because the oxygen is a lot more electronegative than the hydrogen is. So even though the molecule overall doesn't have a charge, the electrons spend more time around the oxygen, which gives it effectively a negative charge, and it gives this effectively a positive charge, which is one of the reasons why water is so good at breaking things down and dissolving things. And I learned that like pure water is corrosive. And it's like it can eat away at steel because water is just so good at breaking things down. When you have pure water, it's like when it doesn't have anything else to interact with, it's going to do what it does. And it's going to start eating away at things that don't necessarily get eaten away at. But here, carbon and oxygen are a lot closer in electronegativity. So this doesn't get that same partial positive and partial negative charge. So there are interactions, because it feels like this sort of interferes with the integrity of the molecule, but this grounds it. And so it's like by putting the carbons here, it makes the oxygen sort of like solid. It keeps it from, because what will happen is like this oxygen will sort of, through charge, it'll interact with other things. And so this keeps it, again with you, it keeps it inside. But when we ground ourselves in this way, these carbons need 3 other things to be grounded. And so that's why they each get a hydrogen. Sagittarius, you're always so... I should have known that the video wasn't recording last time when it wasn't super sciencey. And again, like with the Eohac, it's to be both. To both be able to have like an internal stability and integrity, like a chemical integrity, where we're not constantly sort of like being changed or whatever, but to also be available to interact here. And like, I don't know how to combine these two. Well, that's a different compound. It would be OCH2OH. CH2OH. And then this would be di, because it's two of them. I know like methyl is the CH3. I don't know how to do like the alcohol in this dimethanol ether. Is dimethanol ether a thing? Where's my phone? Sage. Dimethanoic ether? Dimethanol ether? Dimethyl. No, not dimethyl ether. That's what I already had. See, what would that be? Is this even like possible? Let's see. That would be... So let's count. We got C2. We got 1, 3, 6, H6, O3. Is this a thing? C2, H6, O3. That's orthoacetic acid. Is that orthoacetic acid though? No. This is orthoacetic acid. And that's not what I'm looking for. Ethane 1-triol. So diol. Triol. What, monolic ether? Is that a thing? Oxydimethanol. Oxydimethanol. This is probably it. Yes. Yeah, this looks like it. Hydroxymethyl ether. That's what it would be. Oh, so here's the methyl. So that's methyl. Here's the hydroxy. This makes it an ether. Sagittarians. That's what it would be. Hydroxymethyl ether. So the different names for it, it's oxydimethanol, hydroxymethyl ether, hydroxymethoxymethanol, and 2-oxypropane 1,3-diol. And so this is it. When you see a bent line in chemistry, it's a carbon. They just don't write it. See? Oh. But mine goes up, there goes down. Theirs go down. I'm going to put that in the title too. What was it? Which one do I want to... Maybe I'll do the one that's like the longest one. Ooh, they have the 3D molecule too. See, the 3D molecule shows you how... So there's a thing about... Oh my gosh, look at that. It's you. There we go. It's you. So even after all this chemistry, it comes back to you. What? Also, I can do that now. Like, I have hair to push back. Sorry. It's fine. Indulge me for a second. So it all comes back to you. Even after all of that, it's you. But I feel like that's the you in fire. It's the you in all of this. So even as you grow, even as you expand, you're maintained. How long is this? Does this say 18? No, 35. The Outlaw. Bottom of the deck is the New World Order with the Holy See and the Erudite. And then, I'll stop here, with the Ivory Shield. The Burdened One, which is Saturn and Sagittarius. And that's it. The Moon in Taurus, the Giver. That 1221 was the reason why I especially took this. Look at all these majors. It feels like the Erudite is you. And, well, maybe it's both of these. The Outlaw and the Erudite is you. The New World Order and the Holy See is Ak. Or Ache. I can't tell. And then the Ivory Shield is sort of like where they meet. And I love that it's the Ivory Shield because what they share in common is this. Lagu, Lagir. Water. Or a body of water. Which is again why I love the Ivory Shield, because it feels like Lagu is water with boundaries. It's like a river flows in between like the earth, right? A lake sits in the earth. Even an ocean. Well, when you get to the ocean, it's like the earth sits in the ocean. So it's not necessarily that. But this is a sort of integration of both. And you know what? For the sake of consistency, hold up, wait. It's like this. Well, that's how I drew it. So there are things that you learn within self that get you closer to self. And then this is also you. This feels like sort of the not the burden, but the task of being both of these at the same time in that symmetry. Because it's all about symmetry here. But again, it's almost like we want to be careful how we approach it, because if we're this H3C CH3, if we're this ethane, then like the magical oxygen that gives it its sort of like reactive capabilities, or it expands its reactive capabilities, then it's lost. But we can have that symmetry and maintain reactive capability, and then we can also have even more, and have even more. Where, see, that's why the Hierophant and the world are here. Because that's these outside sort of wings where we can interact with the world around us. But the Hangman and the Hermit, it's that O in the middle, where like we have our core. It's like the core and then the things on the outside. This is balancing, navigating both of these. But that gets you closer to the essence of who you are. Water is essences for me. Fire is the soul. Water is the essence. And so they're almost inseparable, but different in some way. And she's the protector of that essence. So this is you expanding, growing further inside. This is you expanding, growing further outside. And they may not necessarily be exactly the same, right? But then that takes us back to the you. How this one goes off in this direction, that one goes off in that direction. And there are parallels between them. And they're united by this ice core that is you. This is very like the gift of mutability. It's to be many different things, or to be in many different situations and scenarios, but to always be you. The oak grows from you. So that's what I got, Sagittarius. It took a while, and we got very sciencey, but here you go. I hope you have a good whenever you see this, and I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality.